Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barber, and this is where we talk both college and NFL. And today we got to talk about the Nico Iamaleava ongoing drama. And this is the gift that just keeps on giving in the offseason. Obviously, everybody by now knows the whole story of how he left Tennessee and then his brother left Arkansas, and then Joey Aguilar was at UCLA, then left UCLA when he found out Tennessee was going there. And then everyone was kind of anticipating what the two different quarterbacks would look like at their respective schools, given the this was probably the highest profile offseason story. And this was one of the potential outcomes, was that it was going to look good for Aguilar at Tennessee, which it did. They just played a banger of a game against Georgia. And if it wasn't for a completely boneheaded false start penalty, Tennessee could have won that game. Now, there's no guarantee that kick would have gone in from 5 yards closer, but it's reasonable that a closer kick is a higher percentage of going in. So anyways, the point is Tennessee is a team that can compete head to head with a team like Georgia. UCLA can't beat an FCS team. That team is a dumpster fire, and now the coach just got fired. So let's take a quick history and accounting of all the steps Nico and his camp made. I don't know if his camp's just his dad or whoever's advising him, if it's just is an idiot. And every step he's taken since this Tennessee thing has been the wrong step. So at first we hear that he's leaving Tennessee for more money. Then when I guess information comes out that he really didn't get any more money, we hear that he left Tennessee because the Tennessee offense is kind of a gimmick offense and doesn't prepare QBs for the NFL. Yet there's multiple QBs in the NFL from Tennessee, and it doesn't matter if they're just backups or practice squad. It's very hard to make an NFL roster. If you're on an NFL roster for multiple years, that is a massive success. And all you need to do is get on the roster to eventually prove your worth to a team. Kind of like Brock Purdy. You don't need to be a number one pick to make it in the NFL. You just need your chance. And Tennessee clearly can send quarterbacks to the NFL and give them a chance. On the other hand, UCLA is an utter dumpster fire that can't beat anyone. And we're led to believe that the move to UCLA was to better prepare him for the NFL. So getting boat raced by Utah and getting sacked and throwing picks and being under 50% completion percentage and getting crushed by New Mexico. These are the hallmarks of a situation that will better prepare you for the NFL than being on a marquee program like Tennessee that you just went to the playoffs with and is now going toe to toe with the best teams in the country like Georgia. I mean, obviously they're in the SEC. They're surrounded by teams that are really good. And now you're a bottom feeder in the other power conference, the Big Ten, who you're going to get steamrolled for the rest of this year. I mean, your coach just got fired. Was this a program you viewed as more stable than Tennessee? And it looked like the future was bright and you were going to develop into a real NFL quarterback here at UCLA. No, UCLA is a tire fire, and you're getting nowhere with this team. It's not going to teach you anything besides how to lose. And you're still up against NFL caliber players in the Big Ten, but you have no team to play against them with. You're not going to put anything on film to show any NFL GMs. And then we hear this story after somehow they managed to dismiss that's not for money. Then somehow it's not the offense. It's I want to be closer to home. So you're homesick. You're trying to build a career that requires you to lead grown men into battle on the football field, and you're homesick. Like you can't even handle being away from home for school for a couple of years. I mean, I don't know if this guy knows, but if you go to the NFL, you don't get to pick the team that drafts you because it's close to home. So nothing that has transpired makes me think this guy's capable of being a big-time QB for anybody, for any reason. Maybe we'll find out there's something huge behind the scenes that we don't know about. But from what we can tell as external observers, he's getting terrible advice. He's listening to that advice, and these are his choices. However he arrived there, he just keeps getting into a worse and worse position. Now there's stories saying that him and his camp had concerns about the UCLA offense. So are we talking about an entitled, narcissistic group of people who Tennessee's offense is not good enough? UCLA's offense is not good enough for my kid because he's got to go to the NFL. Like, who the hell do these people think they are? So to me, that just raises red flags for all future schools, looking at them thinking, I don't want to touch this guy with a 10-foot pole. And his brother's there too. So he was on Tennessee. His brother was on Arkansas. Now they're both at UCLA. UCLA might not even win a game for the rest of the year. I mean, a coach getting fired by the third game, that is a special kind of disaster. So the rest of the season's a write-off. And I'll bet you any money these two guys are going to be in the transfer portal, again, looking for greener pastures, because here we go with another team that's not good enough for the Iamaleavas. So, I mean, this is just bad news. I mean, UCLA, it sucks for UCLA. I mean, they're just a terrible program. But these two players, I mean, I'm kind of mixing his brother in with it, but I'll bet you any money they're on the road again. And I think this mess surrounding Iamaleava is going to just follow him to the next school too. At this point, I think you can't lay the blame completely on him for how terrible UCLA is, but none of the stories add up of how he ended up on UCLA from Tennessee, because in every possible objective way, he went from a way better situation to a way worse situation, and none of the explanations make any sense. So what a mess. And the rest of the season is just going to keep getting worse. And I'd put money on them bailing again for another school. And I think their options are going to keep getting worse. This might be like Jaden Rashada, where they end up on an FCS school and getting their ass kicked there too. So I don't know. This is a complete mess. And, unfortunately for Nico, he's the villain in this story, or his dad's the villain, or they are the villains, him and his camp. And Joey Aguilar looks great. I'm sure the Tennessee fans are loving the fact that Aguilar is the gamer that he is. And they maybe are looking at this thinking, oh, we dodged a bullet. We didn't need this guy and his attitude and the way he's acting. And now we got the kid who really wants to be here and is going to put it on the line for Tennessee and thinking, what can I do for Tennessee versus what can Tennessee do for me? And maybe that's the other story here in this NIL era. Some, not all, but some of these kids getting a big paycheck, undeservedly so. It's just bullshit that they're earning this. This is all charity money, but from donors who are dumb enough to just hand money over to kids who've proven nothing. And now these kids think they are worth that money. Just because you have the money doesn't mean you're actually worth it. And now they might have a sense, that might come with it, a sense of entitlement or a sense of true value that is utterly misplaced, and make them think, oh, if you're going to pay me $2 or $3 million, the only person, it's the coach and then me. That's the two highest paid people in this whole situation. So clearly I should have almost as loud of a voice as to what goes on around here as the coach, which is bullshit. These kids have no clue what's going on. They've just got to college. They should trust the coaches, know how to prepare them to play football. And we're talking at the fundamental level. These schools don't exist to just funnel you to the NFL because you want to go to the NFL. The Tennessee program exists to develop football players, hopefully develop them from boys to men, and to win football games. And if you are good enough, and these coaching staffs know what they're doing, along the way, if you put the effort in, you should develop into someone who could be drafted if you have the raw talent and they know how to develop it. And I'd argue Tennessee is one of those teams that can totally do it, as proof by they have lots of players in the NFL. So this could be a sign of what's to come with NIL entitlement and kids that just think it's that the system now is there to service them. And there's going to be a rude awakening for these kids when they find out they're not all that. And the worst thing that could happen, and I totally see this coming too, is kids that are making six figures in college playing football who will never play football again and who will never make that much money. Not for a long time. They're going to have to go get some other job. They're going to have to start at the bottom. No one's going to be treating them like kings of the town like they get treated in college football. And they're going to be wondering, what just happened? I used to make $300,000-400,000 a year, and now I'm just an hourly worker and no one knows who I am. That's what's coming for 99% of these kids. Most college football players don't play in the NFL. And even the ones that get drafted, half of them only last a year or two. So most of these guys are never going to make money playing football after college, but they're going to have this odd 2 or 3 year moment in their life where they're making in the 5 figures, 6 figures, and a few of them in the 7 figures, in the millions, who will never, ever earn a penny in football ever again. And but during that time, they're going to think they were ever worth that money, which they absolutely were not. Because again, NIL is just charity. It's just donors handing money over for the ridiculous hope that their team will be better. It's not a business decision. These guys aren't marketing anything. They're just getting paid to play. And because there's so much passion around college football, which is fun, you have people just willingly handing money over, hopefully to get better players on their team. But when it gets to the NFL, those are all business decisions. And these kids are going to find out. It's going to be a harsh slap in the face when they find out they were never worth that money and they're never playing football again. And that was the last time they were going to earn a penny playing football. So I know I detoured there, but the way this whole thing has gone down and continues to go, this might be a sign of what might be coming in the next number of years with NIL era players going into the draft thinking college was there just for them. And now the NFL is going to cater to them. And I don't know. I think there's going to have to be an adjustment here. Teams are going to have to add to their recruitment, get to know the kid rubric. They're going to have to really figure the kid's character out now that money is tangled up in here, because I don't think any team's going to want to touch Nico with a 10-foot pole after this disaster. So anyways, that's all I got for that one. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm sure there's more to come here. I mean, I just can't imagine how bad things are going to get at UCLA. But my prediction is that him and his brother are both bailing at the end of the year. All right, well, that's all I got. Also, if you're here and you like what I got going on the channel, please subscribe, maybe give it a like and share if you think somebody will like it. I know our channel's super tiny. We just started it last year. But so I appreciate you taking a chance coming here and checking the channel out. All right, well, that's all I got for this one. But let me know what you think in the comments. And that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.